Blue Tara, or How is a Hyacinth Macaw Parrot Like a Tibetan Goddess? From Blue Parrot Books. Chapter 1, Part 1. Driving makes me hungry. Driving up Aurora Avenue in North Seattle, I craved a cookie. Any kind. I just wanted a cookie. I wasn't particular about my cookie obsession. I pulled into the PCC parking lot. PCC, Puget Consumers Cooperative, one of the many lefty cooperatives that sprang up around Seattle back in the 50s and 60s of the last century, like gooey ducks after a hard rain. Maybe not like gooey ducks. Gooey ducks aren't flora or fungi. Gooey ducks are giant mollusks, the macaws of the mollusk world. I like to throw gooey ducks out in conversation because what separates true Seattleites from the countless immigrants flooding the city to work at Amazon or Starbucks or Microsoft is knowing how to say gooey duck correctly. But back to cookies. I just wanted a simple cookie. Oatmeal raisin, chocolate chip, ginger snap, didn't matter. I have a weakness for cookies, I admit that. Snickerdoodle is one of my favorites, and PCC makes one of the best snickerdoodles in Seattle. I parked and walked up to the door thinking cookies. What would it be, snickerdoodle or chocolate chip, or maybe I'd splurge on a chocolate biscotti. Guy standing at the door stopped me. He was hard to miss. Beside the fact, he stood in the doorway with his arm outstretched and the palm of his hand stuck into my chest, blocking my entrance. A stunningly brilliant blue and yellow parrot perched on his shoulder, a piercing black eye pinned on my face. Properly called a blue and gold macaw, I later learned. One of the largest and most brightly colored of the macaws, hard to miss, especially when there's one right in front of you, perched on a guy's shoulder blocking the entrance to the store that sells the cookies you're currently craving. On this day, I knew nothing about parrots. I'm an historian, got a PhD in history and another PhD in archaeology. So I know PhDs. I've gone through life collecting academic degrees like some people collect cars. I've got a bunch of them, bachelor's, master's, you name it. Certificates I can't even remember now. Pretty useless. I never enjoyed a particularly stellar academic career. I wrote a lot, mostly reports people never read, published some, traveled for research and fieldwork. I had my ups and downs. Mostly just downs now that I think about it. I could never achieve tenure, so I bounced around living out of a suitcase as an adjunct professor. Idaho, Oregon, Alaska, California, finally Seattle. But it kept me from making pizzas or washing dishes for a living. Not that I didn't make pizzas or wash dishes while I was collecting my degrees, but don't get me started. I can regale you with countless stories about Seattle history until your eyes glaze over. But parrots, on this day, the day I had my heart set on a cookie, I didn't know a damn thing about parrots. Sure, I knew people with parrots. Knew one guy who even went everywhere with his service parrot, one of those big white cockatoos perched on his shoulder. To the gas station, grocery store, everywhere. He even brought his parrot over to my house once. But he's strange. I generally thought people walking around with parrots were strange. I'd occasionally see people strolling through the Ballard Farmers Market in my Seattle neighborhood with their parrots on their shoulders. I thought they were strange. My mom even had parakeets when I was growing up. My little child mind thought they were strange. I remember them fluttering around the house and landing on my head. Mostly I remember them pooping in my hair. Then Mom would make me wash my hair out after she corralled the parakeets back in their cage. My early association with parrots was not uniformly positive. Back to the guy with a parrot perched on his shoulder, standing between me and a cookie. Had never seen this guy before, had never seen such a gorgeous creature before. Not the guy, the parrot. Stunning. Stopped me in my tracks. And what's really strange, this guy with a large, colorful parrot perched on his shoulder, someone I've never seen before, he physically gets between me and my cookie. I ran into him because I was so focused on my cookie. This guy put his hand out to stop me and said, "There's a blue parrot at Charlie's bird store you need to see."